Hi, Mrs. Howell.
Hi.
We were working in the garden all day. Want to see what we did?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go show them what we did.
Mm-hmm. It's not the prettiest thing, but it hopefully will produce.
It's beautiful. All right, so here we go. You see, so the chickens are now free ranging. They're under my truck and wandering about. But over here, we have put in the garden and we put the electric fencing around this area. So let's show you what we got in here. So they are looking a little sad because they were started way too early and a lot of them got really leggy and spindly. So I don't know, you know, we pray to God that they take in the ground and actually do some good. But this first row is melons and you see they look sad. That one especially looks really sad. Some of them look better than others. Next row here we've got a couple types of lettuce. I believe that's like an iceberg. That's another type of lettuce there, and then where that little white card is to the rest of that is cabbage, Brunswick cabbage I believe. And then that row is the third row, that's all broccoli, and then the first half of the fourth row is Brussels sprouts, and then kale, and then the half of the fifth row is also kale. And then there's only a couple of cucumbers that took off for the start, so those are right in the middle of that fifth row. And then that's bush beans, the other half of the fifth row. And then 6, 7, and 8, we have 3 rows of peppers. There's different types of peppers, some sweet peppers. I don't know if there's any bell peppers, but we had multiple.
Yes, there are bell peppers.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so, yep. So 3 rows of different types of peppers. So row 8 is all sweet peppers. Those are really good. And then 6 and 7 are a mix of different types of peppers. And then the last 2 rows are tomatoes, which we haven't put our string up yet, but those stakes that are in the ground, we're going to use those with some twine. And do a little interlacing of the twine, and that should support those tomatoes as they grow up, hopefully. We've never tried that before. We saw another video. I honestly don't remember whose video it was, but I just looked it up and I found it and it looked like a way that would work. But yeah, we spent all day out here planting these.
Yep.
As Mrs. Howell says, it's not the most beautiful garden, but hopefully it produces beautiful fruit.
Because honestly, it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it produces.
Yeah, hey, as long as the stuff grows, that's the goal, right? At the end of the day, that's what matters.
Exactly. Last year, our garden was not the prettiest, but
You saw
I'll be darned if everything we planted came up nice. It all did.
Except onions.
Onions was our only thing.
We can't make onions grow here.
Come up, I don't know.
Same thing this year. We planted some onions for starts and they didn't do anything.
Even sprout, so
Onions,
I give up on onions.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Not a big deal. But
Okay.
anyway, that's in the ground now. That's everything we started indoors is now outdoors. Including, I'll show you the other stuff we planted over here. There's some extra stuff that was kind of iffy, so I said, you know what, let's just throw it in the ground. So can't really tell, but there's some weak little cilantro right in here, and then there's a couple other, you see how the dirt looks different, kind of scratched up. Same thing right here. We took some of those pots that didn't sprout and we just dumped it in here and mixed that in the ground. Figure maybe the heat will help some of that stuff sprout and it'll grow out here on its own. Maybe not, I don't know. This is like my my permaculture mound I got going here. Mrs. Howell don't like the way it looks. It is kind of ugly, but I think it's cool. because it's natural. It's whatever wanted to grow there pretty much, I just let it grow, and then I stuck a few things in myself. This is some kind of berry bush that I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but it's growing. That is broccoli. There's a tomato hiding right there. There's a lettuce, still kind of weak looking, but it's still green and alive, so that's a good thing. That's the second one of that same type of berry bush, because I got 2 of them. I just don't remember what kind it was. There's some kale down in here. And then there's one little melon that I sprouted late. That's this guy right here. And then a bunch of other melons are all mixed in here. You see how the dirt looks kind of roughed up a few spots? That's actually where the guinea house was last year. So I was like, you know what, that soil's probably fertile. Let's go ahead, let's throw something in the ground. So that's where we stuck. We didn't want to do multiple rows in the garden with the melons, and more of them sprouted than we thought. So there you go. All right, here's another group. It looks really bad and weeds are abounding, but I don't mind. I actually like them digging deep and pulling up nutrients, especially like dandelions. They have a deep taproot. They pull good stuff up to the surface. But this first row, I did the, what do they call it? The Three Sisters, I think. Corn, pole beans, and squash, summer squash. And some of them have started sprouting. None of the corn looks to have been sprouted yet, but some of the squash and beans have. These are some corn. The only thing I planted on this row at all yet was these little corn that had already sprouted. I started 10 inside and only 4 of them actually took off. So that's what those are. But I plan on making rows of corn here. I wanted to do 4 rows of corn. We'll see how that works out. This little patch was a leftover patch from, I had like a really huge wooden pallet, and I had the grill out here. There's a couple videos I did in the past that had it set up here with the grill and a little chair area. And then when I moved it, of course, this was all dead. So I tilled it, and I threw down just different types of seeds for some flowers. Chamomile, lavender. I think there were some herbs mixed in there, some cilantro or thyme or other stuff. I don't know. I just threw a bunch of random stuff down there and kind of raked it in along the surface. And then here, besides this stuff that we dumped out on the edge here and here, I raked in lavender seeds into that bunch, so hopefully that takes. And then our blueberries are beautiful. Look at them. Those are getting the little flowers on them now. Those will turn into blueberries, those little clusters of flowers. Not going to be a whole ton of them this year. Still not getting a ton. I've been starting to water. I guess I could have watered earlier and maybe that would have helped, but starting to do the watering for all this stuff now. This little grape, I was surprised because it was just a dead stick, and then it started popping leaves, and now it's coming up. So hopefully that will keep growing, and I'll make a little trellis for it. Maybe I can get that to grow. Oh, one other thing that I was working on. I don't know if it's going to actually work or not, but it's worth trying it. So because we have fruit trees and some other trees around the property that we like and we would like more of them, I went and bought a small jar of rooting hormone and I gave it a try, and we're going to see how it works out. Alright, so these are cuttings from our fruit trees. This one I'm super happy about because these leaves still look to be pretty vibrant. See how these ones are dying off and sagging and looking all sad, so I don't know if they're doing anything good or not. But that one right there, that one actually looks like it's doing really well. Hopefully I'm right. I don't know. But basically I took several of these little cuttings off the fruit trees. I was planning on cutting them off anyway because they need to be pruned every so often, and they say that if you're going to do the cuttings to root, doing it in the spring with new growth is the best way to go. So basically all I did was just cut them off. I put them in a little bucket with water and let them soak for a minute after I've clipped them off, and then you stir the clipped end in through the rooting hormone and you stick it in the dirt. You know, you want to have good soil. I don't know if my soil was the best thing for it. It wasn't store-bought potting soil, so it might not be perfect, but we'll see how it works. These ones are some I just did yesterday, actually. If you look in the distance over there along the wood line, that one with those pinkish white flowers there, I'll zoom in on it. How's that work for zooming? Look at all these pollinators. There's at least 5 different types of bees that I see out here every time I come and look. And they're just loving this tree. They are buzzing around, taking in the nectar and picking up pollen and moving it all over the place. I really don't know. I think it might be a cherry blossom. These might be cherry blossoms I'm looking at. If anybody knows for sure, let me know. Here's a nice close-up of that. So, there it is. There it is. Beautiful place to live. I'm so happy we're here doing these things with these beautiful days. Beautiful sunshine. Plants are growing. Things are turning green. Bugs and pollinators and things are out. Some of the bugs are not good. Hey, I use bug spray on myself so that I don't get killed by mosquitoes and biting flies and things. Some of y'all might not like that, but hey, you do you. We do bug spray. Alright, so that's what we're up to. Thanks for watching, and if you didn't look at what we did with the siding, take a look at those videos. There's more to come, because as you can see, we're not all the way done with it yet. So, see ya.